Hey, everyone. And before I get started, let me double check we are all fully live. And I'm going to grab my phone real quick and I'll check. I actually don't have it with me, but whatever. So, anyway. Hey, how's everyone doing? I'm really excited to get back into the groove of things. And if you're here, say hi to me. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your 2022 New Year celebration went. What did you end up doing? How was everything? I want to know everything. I think the most important thing for me has happened over the course of the past week. Hi. Was really diving and digging deep into really my own messaging, what Love Goddess is about, what type of clients I'm serving, why they want to work with us, what is about the group coaching program that my clients really need to take away in order to achieve that next level of life and relationship and bring that passion back, and mainly that level of confidence that we all said we are looking to find. And one of the biggest topics in this whole kind of mindset, this whole conversation that I have had with myself was really about why are we, we grow up with this idea of wanting to get married and find our love and have kids, and that's what Disney says our happily ever after looks like, right? But what most of us end up finding out that when you get married, happily ever after does not really happen. But what happens is whole bunch of other problems, and lots of us lose passion for life and we get complacent, and sex life is terrible. And some of us, and I've gone through a period where um we had not had sex for over like multiple months, or like once a month was like about 5 years ago. We were going through a little thing in marriage, and so we get this loss of passion, excitement for life. We get into the routine, and we feel that we are stuck. And because Disney has programmed us to expect happily ever after, and life doesn't end at marriage, we kind of lost. We are lost at, okay, I've achieved that, now what? Right? I'm married, I have kids, and now what? And so a lot of women kind of go down the rabbit hole, and they're like, they don't care, anymore about themselves. They don't go out. They don't have dates with husbands. They don't take care of themselves because life just gets so busy, and we get so carried away with work and life and kids. And there's a whole bunch of other things that are happening, and we have to provide, and we get into this groove of things where we lose passion and we lose desire for having sex with our partner altogether, and we lose that desire for like, we lose the sight of what a good life really looks like, what a juicy passionate life really looks like. And I'm not only talking about sex, like I'm talking about travel, going on dates, like meeting girlfriends for dinners, like all those little elements and all those pieces, and like go shopping, like all those pieces that I myself find very much fun. Traveling, like seeing beautiful places. Like I've just came back from Miami, and like I'm like really excited to have an apartment there one day, and hopefully that day is this year. But But like just being really inspired by like all these inspiration and like people having big yachts and luxury magazines and beautiful boutiques, and it's like, to me, this is so inspiring. To me, like being around this whole atmosphere where women dress up and they put makeup on and they put high heels on and they go out on dates and they're young and happy, like, to me that's very addictive, and it is contagious. Like, it makes me want to put on my high heels and put on sexy lingerie underneath my dress, right? Like, I want to go out and party, just like, so to me this is very inspiring. As far as, where else? Like, I'm living and I'm stuck in this like North Carolinian home, right? And as much as I love my land, and as much as I love nature, and as much as I love to be by myself, like, I get so complacent, and sometimes it takes a kick in my ass to get me out of here. Sometimes it takes for me to get into a funk or depression episode and like to say, fuck this, I'm out, right? And that's when I go and open up kayak and like find like, oh, where can I go, right? And I know it is more complicated in real life scenarios. We have to like see what the schedules are and like where we need to be and things like that. But you get my point, right? Like, we get so complacent where we just stop seeking for what's beyond our box of life that we have created for ourselves. And yes, I'm gonna read your comment, my love, in a second. But yeah, we are so stuck in our own ways. We are so complacent, and that translate, like, if you lack passion in other areas, you're gonna lack passion in the relationship, you're gonna lack passion in sex, you're gonna lack passion in marriage. If you are a shining star, if you are inspired, if you are dedicating time to your passion projects, to your hobbies, if you are an artist and you're like, fuck everything, I'm going to like do my best painting today, and that's all you do, and you are in the state of inspiration and it's just flowing, well, guess what? It's gonna show up in other areas of you as well, because honestly, it's the energy thing. We are energetic human beings, like, and creativity is coming from our second chakra, and that is also responsible for sex, and sex does what? Procreation. Like, so we are like, this whole creative energy just like blooms when you allow yourself to indulge, instead of putting yourself into this box where you are so complacent. And it's gonna like this funk altogether is gonna reflect in all areas of your life, in your work, in your being a mother or parent, in your sex life, in the relationship, and friendships, like everywhere. Like, if you are not there energetically, you're gonna feel all of those areas are not aligned. And sometimes, if you are really out of shape energetically, all areas starts falling apart, and you wonder, like, oh, if shit happens, it happens everywhere. That's exactly right, because your energy is not where it needs to be, where when things are going right and you are in the blooming state and you are like this happy ray of sunshine and you are in the moment, all things go right. All things go right. That's the law. That's the energy. It's not like an exception. It's the fucking law that we are working with, we are living with. It's the law of the universe, right? And so, why we get so complacent in marriage is because we get so comfortable. We get so comfortable that, okay, well, now we've achieved that, what, and we don't create new ideas or new goals for ourselves, right? We have gotten married, had kids, and sometimes, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom, you think, oh, I've hit my limit, like, I've achieved everything I ever wanted, and I'm still not fucking happy. And the reason why you're not happy is because you're not growing. And happiness only comes from growth. And the reason you are not growing is because you are not setting new levels to your life. You are not setting new levels to your success. You are not setting new levels. Like, how can your life be even better? How can your relationship be amazing? How can you spice your life up, not just in sex, but like everywhere else, like with hobbies, with travels, with all those elements that will make you be excited for where you at and where you want to go. Like, how can you be excited for your next level and where your next level is? And all of that is gonna show up in your marriage too, because you're like two sides of the same coin. If you're not happy, he's not gonna be happy, and vice versa, right? You are like, you either uplifting together and growing together, or what happens a lot is that you end up growing and he ends up either being on the same level or going down, and not growing with you, in fact, going backwards. And that is when, you thought you were okay in the beginning, and that might be a different subject, but I might touch up on that in a second. But however, when you started together, your life together, right? You were at this level, and what most likely happened, you grew and he's still here. And you didn't grow together, and so you start drifting apart, and that's when you start noticing, oh, our interests are completely different. And we are still not agreeing on certain things, and he's not the same person, and we all change. Just so you know, you are not the same person you were 5 years ago. I am not the same person I was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. We always growing. So if we're not growing, we're going down, we're dying, right? So if he's not growing with you, you are way now higher, and he didn't grow with you, and that's why the marriage is falling apart, because you are not growing together. Or he's pulling you down. He's pulling down on your progress of growing. Or you are staying very complacent in marriage and not growing together. And then it's comfortable, it's okay, but you're average and life is boring and sex life is non existent because you are not growing. The separation is what brings that passion element into your sex life, into your relationship, into your marriage. That little element of that, yes, I'm still a separate person and he's still a separate person. And that is why we still love each other. And that is why, I love all these things about him. And he's just an addition to my life as much as I am an addition to his life. And we create together this beautiful, beautiful world where I bring my own things and he brings his own things into the world, and we are growing together, and we are talking about life together, and we are still agreeing on things together, right? And you have to always grow together. So let me go ahead and read this comment here. Mine is not happily ever after, right? And I do believe this is the majority of the population. It is the majority of the population. Very few couples actually stay together for a long term. And if they do, you want to ask them how they did it. Like, my husband and I are 14 years into our marriage, and actually have just came across this thing where our sex life is literally as good as when we were dating in 2006. And there is definitely something happened that I may talk to you about, but you always want to ask those couples, like, how does it how do you what do you do in your marriage, and how do you keep that tension alive? Because that's what's lacking. The lack of tension in marriage results in loss of passion, loss of desire for each other, loss of sex life altogether. All right, so he's got physical and mental abuse is bad. Yes, that's not good. I'm working on changing passwords, revoking all record access from his name so I can file divorce. Trying to protect myself, my roommates, and their kids from repercussions from his response to my asking for divorce and him move out. I don't want him to get vindictive. I may not be saying this word right. So my goddess has gone hiding. So first thing here, and again, I don't know the situation. Sometimes we get into the relationship when we are young and naive and we think we can change our partners, and then we start realizing that no, it's not going to change. In fact, it's only going to get worse, and we're going to either have to accept that and put up with it, or just walk away from this altogether. And at some point, it becomes completely unbearable to tolerate any sort of verbal or, God forbid, physical abuse. You have to walk away and truly hide for your life and save yourself and get all the help you can from all the resources that are available to you. I have just watched a movie. I think it's called The Maid on Netflix. It's not a movie. It's a series, limited series, and it's really showed how the system is so broken for people and women in domestic abuse situations, and how life is literally not set up to help out. But there are some resources that and friends and family that we really need to reach out and ask for all the help we can to get us out of that as soon as possible. And first and foremost, what comes first is your decision to not settle for this anymore, to not tolerate the abuse anymore, and seek further help, right? And if it's not enough for you to motivate yourself, like, yeah, I can deal with that, but think about your kids and have that motivate you to get out. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it sucks. Yes, there's so much bullshit that's gonna involve in getting out of that abusive marriage. But think about your kids and let them motivate you if your own motivation is not enough. And so you want to show your kids an example of a woman who stands up for herself, who does not tolerate bullshit. Because what's going to happen, you're going to show your kids that if you stay in this abusive marriage, in this abusive relationship, you're going to show your little girl that that is what women do. Because my mom did it, that is what she would have to be doing if she ends up repeating your pattern. And most likely that's how life works. Like, it's crazy, but life works in those ways because we repeat patterns of our parents until we decide to break that pattern. And it starts with you. Will you be the one to decide to break that pattern, or will you go and like, will your daughter will repeat your pattern, which you under no circumstances want to for her to repeat, right? So make that decision to break that pattern. Yes, it fucking sucks to go through all the bullshit and fear and all of that, but once you're on that other side, you're going to be a completely transformed woman, because that experience is being given to you for a reason. And that experience is being given to you so you can stand up and claim your power as an independent, powerful goddess that you are. It is given to you so you can find your power. That's your life lesson. And yes, it's hard and scary to go through that, but that is something that you need to be doing so your daughter, and I don't know if you have a daughter, maybe you have a boy, maybe you have both, I don't know, so they don't repeat that. And if you have a boy, you're going to show him that, what dad is doing is not okay. So he cannot repeat that in his marriage, because his wife will leave the relationship. It's not okay to be abusive in the relationship, right? You're setting this huge example for them. So anyway, if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for joining me in today. I am back on the schedule. We are back to doing 12 o'clock live videos. I'm so excited to be getting back in the groove. And if you want to have a boudoir session, it's $100 off if you book during this live video. The link is in the header or the comment section of this video, and we have more comments. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Mwah. Love you all. Bye.